Let's do this.
2017 has come and gone, and if you're a Nintendo fan or just a gamer in general, we got some pretty awesome stuff last year. One of the biggest things to happen last year was the release of Nintendo's next generation console, the Nintendo Switch. Much like the Wii U, you didn't need a TV in order to use it, for the most part, and the coolest part of the Nintendo Switch is the fact that, like the Nintendo 3DS, it's portable. The Nintendo Switch had an amazing launch year with at least one awesome first-party game being released each month, and several just as awesome indie games and third-party titles being released on top of them. Most of you maybe bought a Switch during the holiday season or are still considering getting one, so you might be thinking, what games should I purchase in order to get the maximum retention of fun out of my Nintendo Switch? Well, lucky for you, I have a list of the top 10 Switch games released so far. Consider this a guide for what games to buy that will guarantee you a fun time on your Switch. Let's-a go! Most people might not know what Stardew Valley is, but let me tell you, it's a game. But it's not just a game, it's a farming game. It's a part life simulation, part role-playing game where you play as an avatar character. No relation to the ones from Sonic Forces. With this avatar character, you live a life in the fictional land of Stardew Valley, a rural little town where everyone knows your name. It's horrible, I know. While there is stuff to do in Stardew Valley, there's no real story or heavy plot that you follow. Quite literally, the whole game is just you moving from the rustle and bustle of a large, busy city to live a life of zen and tranquility on the nice little farm. This game has so much stuff to do in it that I can't even list it all right now, but I'm gonna try anyway. You could farm, battle monsters, mine for stuff, make friends, shop, fish, explore, raise animals, craft stuff, go on side quests, dig through the trash, piss people off, dig up other people's properties, summon the Dark Lord, and my personal favorite, marrying a man. I'm not actually joking about those last 5 points, by the way, you can actually do those. You will wish you could multitask as well as this farmer dude. With all the activities Stardew Valley presents, it's quite the addicting game. So addicting to the point that you won't even realize that you're late for work. But you don't care, because video games. In case you don't believe me, I'm going to prove just how addicting this game is by showing you just how much time I have spent on it. Yes, I've played Stardew Valley for over 60 hours. That's more time than I've put in to Super Mario Odyssey. Almost half the playtime I have for Breath of the Wild, and I've only owned the game for about a month. This is the power of Stardew Valley. While this may seem like a silly little indie game, it's actually quite intelligent in terms of its design, AI, and replayability. If you go onto Google and search Stardew Valley, you'll see that this game is on PC, Mac, and other consoles, but this game was made for portability, and being able to take this game anywhere with me has ruined my life. And as I write the script for this video, apparently Stardew Valley was listed as the most downloaded game on the Switch in 2017. That's all I can really say for Stardew Valley. Go buy the game, it's fun, it's cool, and it'll probably ruin your life too. For the better, of course. Forget FIFA 18. If you want to play a soccer game on the Switch, get Rocket League. This competitive, esports styled game requires the player to drive around a stadium and bounce balls around. Yeah! The physics of this game are freaking amazing. Literally, you have to drive into a ball and hit it hoping you could score for your team. One of the benefits of owning the Nintendo Switch version of Rocket League is the ability to customize your car with a Mario, Luigi, and Samus design. And they all look great. The most popular mode in Rocket League is of course the online mode, where you get to go up against other players around the world to knock balls around. As goofy as the game can sometimes get, in online mode it can get pretty competitive and pretty rough really quickly. And also, like most online modes, it'll get really annoying if you lose over and over and over again across multiple matches. And trust me, as a person that plays this game multiple times a frickin' week, there's always at least one instance where one person, not an entire team, but one person will win against you in each and every single match. Look at this frickin' guy! screw you, Angel D. If you want a competitive sports game that's not FIFA or a Mario game, consider getting Rocket League. You'll either laugh a lot or you'll rant a lot. Either way, it's a lot of fun.
I'm willing to take full responsibility for the horrible events of the last 24 hours, but you must understand. Our interest in their world was purely for the betterment of mankind. Everything has clearly gotten out of hand now, yes. But it was worth the risk, I assure you.
Doom 2016 for the Nintendo Switch. Buy it now! I ended up liking Doom 2016 a lot more than I thought I would. I'm not much into first-person shooters, especially when they're really violent and really bloody, you know, like this one. But I felt inclined to buy this game just to try it out for the most part, and in the end, I ended up loving the hell out of it. See what I did there? I've never played Doom, but I do know it played a significant role in popularizing the first-person shooter genre. Like most FPSs these days, there's an online multiplayer mode, but I've only really experienced the campaign. It's fun, violent, and pretty intuitive, and all the levels are fun to explore. Remember though, the Switch isn't as powerful as the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC, so the fact that they could get Doom to run on the Switch in the first place is pretty impressive. This might not be a 4K game with 60 FPS and crud, but it's still fun and I enjoy what I played so far. As a person that doesn't usually get FPS games and has never touched a Doom game prior to this, I say it's good. If you think the Switch is too much of a baby's toy, then go buy Doom right now.
That's like a baby's toy.
Baby's toy.
Mario Kart 8!
You have a Wii U? No? How come? You got a PS4 instead? Well, that's okay, I can't really say I blame you. Anyways, here I present to you another reason why not to own a Wii U nowadays. Then again, I highly doubt anybody was stopping you in the first place. So, right off the bat, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is exactly what it sounds like. Mario Kart 8, but better! The difference between Mario Kart 8 and its Switch port is the fact that there are exclusive characters to it. These characters include the Inklings from Splatoon, King Boo, Bowser Jr., Dry Bones, and Gold Mario. Wow! As if we didn't have enough clones as is. Thank you, Sakurai. That, and also I guess the development team decided to beat the game for you because literally the Grand Prix has already been completed with all the cups already unlocked, all the secret racers already unlocked, but you can unlock new cars. That's cool. So literally the only benefit you can really get out of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is get new characters. Everything's unlocked, so you don't have to start all over again, and portability. That's fun. It's Mario Kart on the go. Go buy it. Ooh, dude, what's this? Is that Mario with the Ubisoft minions? This is sacrilege! Okay, there were some people out there that were dreading this idea, and I can understand why. Some people hate the rabbits because of how bland and annoying they are. Personally, I think they're just fine. Nope, I still don't see what people are getting at. Honestly, the thing you might actually find annoying is how annoyingly difficult this game is. That's what's annoying. As for the game itself, Mario plus Rabbids is a tactical RPG where you play as Mario characters and some Rabbids characters and shoot things with them. Mario gets a Mega Buster in this game, okay? A Mega Man Mega Buster. What more could you possibly want? The game is pretty challenging, presenting a long campaign, extra challenges, multiplayer modes, and some upcoming DLC that includes a new story and some new levels. And one of them is Donkey Kong for some reason, I don't know. So if you can get over how annoying the Rabbids are, check out Mario plus Rabbids, and have a swell time. Hey guys, remember when Sonic was good? Remember when he was 16-bit and didn't sell out to Nintendo? Remember when he was voiced by Jaleel White?
Way past cool, huh?
I don't. I wasn't born yet. Sonic Mania is a return to form for Sonic, and it's considered to be the best Sonic game released in years. I mean, that's not very hard to do, but still. The game is pretty much the same as any Sega Genesis Sonic game. Complete with that physics-based gameplay we all know and love, Sega Genesis-styled graphics. Oh no, look! Green Hill Zone! Never seen that before! The only two problems I really have with Sonic Mania are the fact that most of the levels aren't that original. A lot of the levels are just remakes of already established levels, like come on, get some originality in there, guys. What is this? A Sonic Generations sequel? Actually, no, that came later. My other problem with this game is the fact that it's not actually made by Sonic Team. It's made by a bunch of fans. One of these fans being Christian Whitehead, the dude that was behind the ports of Sonic 1, 2, and CD to most mobile devices. Those are pretty good ports and all, and it was really cool to see him work on an actual game for once, but still, come on Sonic Team. Really? You can't even make your own Sonic game? Or, well, you know, an actually good one? Though in the end, I guess it doesn't really matter who made it. The fact is, it came out, and it's really friggin' awesome. That's all that matters. Pick up the game and party like it's 1991. Nintendo's answer to Call of Duty got a sequel, and it's called Splatoon 2. The Splattening. As any good sequel, Splatoon 2 takes what was good about Splatoon 1 and makes it better. You no longer need the Wii U's bulky gamepad to play, but the motion controls in this game are just as great as they were back in 2014. And yes, they are great. Whoever didn't play with the motion controls, how did you even do it? The best part of Splatoon 2 is its online versus mode. In this mode, you decide who the winner is by seeing who could pollute the world more. Whichever team spreads the most amount of neon-colored toxins wins the war. There's also a campaign mode, which is practically unchanged from Splatoon 1, but perhaps it's for the best. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. There's also Salmon Run, which is a new mode where you and 3 other players commit genocide against the Salmonoids, killing them and stealing their precious young. There's a reason I put Splatoon 2 so much higher on the list compared to Doom, and it's because of all the violence. The colorful, happy-go-lucky violence. With new free DLC being added every so often, new ways to customize your characters, and new ways to play, Splatoon 2 is definitely a fresh game. Whoa, cool. Okay, I won't lie. I haven't played this game. I know, I'm a terrible person. The only experience I've ever had with the Xenoblade Chronicles franchise was with Xenoblade Chronicles X. And I wasn't all that impressed with it. On top of that, I never had the money to buy the game, and on top of that, I never had the time to play the game, so there you go. I'm just a poor boy from a poor family that has really picky preferences in RPGs, and despite the fact that I don't have a life, I still don't have time to play video games. That's the sad life I lead. So I'm more recommending this game from a word-of-mouth perspective more than an experience perspective. Some online and real-life friends of mine really love this game. They love the story, they love the role-playing elements, they love the fast combat, they love the open world, they love the sense of exploration, and you know what? I can totally understand why. And now you're probably wondering, well, then why did you put it on this list then if you haven't played it yet? Well, because it's just a good game from what I've heard, and I think it deserves to be on the list. I mean, it's a high-profile Nintendo game. Just because I haven't played it doesn't mean I can't acknowledge it. I might not have much to say about it, but I know a bunch of people that cannot stop praising this. If you're into action RPGs or games that allow you to explore an open world, then this is definitely something to check out. When I get more money and more time, I'll definitely be checking it out myself. At this point, it should probably be really easy what 2 games are going to be on the top of the list. I raise you Super Mario Odyssey for being the second most recommendable game on the Nintendo Switch. The latest 3D adventure game in the Super Mario series is also the best one in my opinion. Like most collectathon Mario games, you play as Mario with his obligatory sidekick traveling through different worlds to collect certain MacGuffins. This time we're collecting magic moons to inflate a balloon on your ship so that way we can get to the moon to stop Bowser from marrying Princess Peach. Well, my suspension of disbelief has certainly been broken. And now at least we know why Bowser is kidnapping Peach all the time. It's because he's trying to marry a girl that keeps rejecting him and is a quarter of his size. Seems reasonable to me. Mario Odyssey officially has the wackiest list of levels ever to be explored in a 3D Mario game. My personal favorite levels are the Mushroom Kingdom level, which is essentially the Mario 64 Castle Grounds, and New Dawn City, which is essentially New York City if Nintendo owned it. The game has great replay value, which will keep you playing at it for several hours, and the imagination and creativity will keep you coming back for more. It's like the developers knew you're going to be exploring each nook and cranny of each of these levels, because there's just so much stuff in them. Whether it's another passageway, a coin, a power moon, or whatever, you're always going to be finding something somewhere in the level. It's impossible to hide from these things. It'll seem like there's no end to these levels, and honestly, I'm totally okay with that. Mario's new capture ability really lends a new dimension of gameplay to Super Mario Odyssey. It's amazing how Nintendo has been able to keep Mario relevant and awesome for the last 30 plus years. With how awesome Super Mario Odyssey has been, I cannot wait to see what Nintendo has in store for the Super Mario series from now on. The Switch graced us with a new era of gaming, and Breath of the Wild marks the starting point for that new era. Did you enjoy Ocarina of Time, Skyward Sword, and Link to the Past? Well, no more of that, because now we have an all-new way to play Zelda. Rather than be a linear experience with a bunch of puzzle solving, we now have an open world with a large emphasis on exploration. An open world Zelda game where you can do whatever you want, wherever you want. With the exception of the first two Zelda games, most Zelda games in the franchise prior to Breath of the Wild always required you to get 3 of some sort of MacGuffin, followed by 5 or 6 or a million of some other MacGuffins, I don't know. Breath of the Wild, on the other hand, makes you get 4 MacGuffins, and then you gotta get 4 more MacGuffins, and then you got a bunch of optional MacGuffins. See? That's different. With a world so vast and so many dungeons to crawl, you're gonna be playing Breath of the Wild for a long time. Are there problems with Breath of the Wild? Yeah, there are. There's always problems with games, even one as perfect as this one. Stuff like a weak story, rehashed bosses, and lame dungeons do kinda hamper the game, but honestly, they're really nitpicky things. Sure, you don't really play a Zelda game for story, but for a game as big as Breath of the Wild, I mean, they should have tried something. We get voice acting for the first time in a Zelda game, and it's just okay. I can certainly appreciate that they put voice acting in a Zelda game for once, but one, I think they needed to do it a little bit more often, and also I think some of these actors could have done a few more takes. The bosses you fight at the end of each major dungeon are literally the same boss over and over and over again. Heck, even the final boss is kind of a rehash. It's literally just a combination of all the different bosses combined. The dungeons are also pretty copy and paste as well, with all of them having similar aesthetics and also having similar puzzles. But you want to know something that actually kind of redeems all these issues? Some bonus DLC was released for Breath of the Wild in the form of 2 packs. Pack 1 was pretty alright, but Pack 2 is where all the fun stuff was at. Here's 4 awesome things you'll get out of Pack 2. For one thing, did you like the original 4 champions? Good! You'll get to hear more and see more about them by completing the trials presented in the pack. Another thing is that there's actually a dungeon worth giving a credit about in this pack. It's longer, more difficult, and it's way more interesting in how you solve the puzzles. The final boss is also worth giving a credit about. It's a unique and fun strategy that the Ganon fights were lacking. It has multiple phases, and it actually uses more than 2 attacks this time. And the last thing, and it's the best thing as well, you get an actual motorcycle to ride around Hyrule. It's faster than any horse, and it can travel through different types of terrain. Pack 2 was worth it just for the motorcycle, so if you're getting bored of Breath of the Wild, consider getting Pack 2, and that way it'll give you a new way to traverse through Hyrule, and you'll have more fun exploring. When I started making this list, I knew Breath of the Wild was going to be a number 1 on it. The game was already a 10 out of 10 for me, and putting the DLC on top of that just made it even more fun. Breath of the Wild received the Game of the Year award last year, and along with it, the Nintendo Switch was considered a crowning achievement for Nintendo. If you got a Switch or plan on getting one, make sure you get a hold of these games, and there's going to be a lot more games coming out for it this year. This is just the beginning, people, and it's going to get way, way better.